Hi everybody, welcome once again to my Low on Health Rambling. Today is January 2nd, 2011. It's about 1:31 p.m. Want to say Happy New Year's to everybody and everybody that's been watching these videos for the over the last past year. I've started doing these videos back really at the beginning of January of last year and started putting them up on YouTube basically by the second week of January, thanks to some people that wanted me to do it that way. And I have thus been doing this for over a year now. And I'm really kind of happy with it. It is one of the things I kind of like doing. I like producing stuff and just keeping tabs of what I've been doing. And I'm really happy to see that I can see the numbers of people that watch these. And granted, it's not high, but it's nice to kind of get word out there and see if anybody's interested. But got a bunch of things I want to go over because we had New Year's recently. So first, starting off, let me just go ahead and start with New Year's, New Year's Eve. I did get the day off. We were let out early from work and everything, which is cool. And was actually invited out to with Jeff and Felina for a New Year's thing. But of course, on actually New Year's Eve, we also had our old Anime Nation luncheon. This is what happens is every other couple months, like every once a quarter or once or twice a year, a bunch of us that used to work for Anime Nation get together, kind of talk and just catch up with each other and talk, industry, talk video games, just talk about what's going on in our lives and whatnot. And that was basically Friday afternoon at Red Robin's at Citrus Park, which I'd never been at before. Red Robin's, which apparently is mainly a big burger place. And while I like my burgers, I don't like them being expensive. But it was a good burger. But would I've easily have paid for 8 McDonald's hamburgers? Yes. But it was good to catch up with everybody. Of course, you got Darren, John, Phil, Alden's boyfriend, Jeff, and Felina, and then me. Now, Jeff and Felina had actually invited me out to a little New Year's thing that they were going out to down in Ybor. I'm like, hey, whatever, if you guys drive, I'll be fine drinking everything and I can crash at your place. It'll be cool. So we went out, and it turns out what happened is we were up in a balcony at Ybor, which was kind of cool. People that have apartments in Ybor, they have public, not public, but like open to all the residents balcony. So there are a bunch of kind of people that are hanging out and whatnot. And this was also the Outback Bowl, which happens on New Year's Day. This is they had a parade down in central Ybor with the two teams, which was UF and Penn State. Which, on a side note, I've actually been up to Penn State. My dad had went up there with a couple business associates, and I kind of tagged along, and we did some golfing, watched the Penn State game, and kind of just cruised around campus. So that was kind of cool. But they had a big parade, in which case, let me see, that's before the parade starts. This is me and Jeff, and you can see right there, back there, that is the Central Ybor sign. That is the cantina. You got Mary's over there. And it was just real cool. We're right up there. We were throwing beads down and stuff, and it was just real cool. This is the parade that kind of went by and whatnot. It was kind of cool. Like the parade, Felina had bought a bunch of beads, and we were throwing beads out to people. And of course, the floats and whatnot were throwing beads up at us. So I was able to catch. I got a nice little Outback Bowl thing. And granted, dudes aren't supposed to get beads, but I was basically up on the balcony throwing them down. So if a bead or something happened to hit me that somebody threw up, I then dictated it that was mine. That was basically what else I got here. I also got a football. Yeah, I got a little plush football. But that was kind of cool because they had people throwing up stuff. This is me and Jeff. Jeff and Felina are kind of veterans of Ybor, where I'm not. I mean, if I used to go to Ybor, I would just zoom in and zoom out from where I needed to go, either the Improv or like GameWorks or something. But Jeff kind of gave me a nice little walkie tour of Ybor, showing me where all the different clubs and whatnot were at. And we actually went to GameWorks, which is of course a place I have to go to all the time. And I played a little bit of DDR, played a couple shooter games and whatnot. Then we played some ticket games because if anybody that knows me, whenever I go out to like an arcade, I always like to get some type of souvenir. So we got little airplanes. Woo! Back before when I went to Malibu back in August, we got little skateboards. But this was able to get to things, which was funny too. Like I don't know if anybody's gone to arcades recently, but when you give them the tickets and everything, and they count them, they're like, "Oh yeah, blah blah tickets." I had 14 tickets, and the chick was like, "Oh, you have 14 tickets," trying to be all like happy and chipper and stuff, like I'm 12. And I'm like, "Don't patronize me. Like I know how many tickets I got. Let me just get my stuff and get out of here." But that was kind of cool. What else we got here? But yeah, this is basically, you can kind of see here that they had, this is the balcony where everybody was. This was kind of still during the parade and whatnot. It was just a really good time, and I like to thank Jeff and Felina, there's a float, for letting me hang out with them and come out with them. It was a really good opportunity, and I very much enjoyed it. It was a good way to kind of ring in the new year, better than last year, which was just sitting at home and watching Advent Children and crying at the end again. But uber thank you to them and whatnot. Now, while we're still on the topic of New Year's, I want to mention real quick, too, New Year's resolutions. In which case, I'm going to bring up real quick. This right here is my 2010 New Year's resolutions I made over a year ago. In which case, the first one was to find a job, a good job. I found a job. Find a renter. In which case I did. I found 2 renters. You have eat more. Now, I was actually able to eat more, even though if you count what I eat now, not that big, mainly chicken nuggets and fast food during the week and Hungry Howie's and my mom's dinner. But it is better than just the ramen and pasta that I was living on for a long time. You also have finished landscaping the house, which unfortunately I started to do, but I didn't finish it. It's still a work in progress. On a side note, I was doing lawn work today and whatnot, and I know we had that cold snap recently, but yeah, actually I had a bunch of like maybe 2 dozen oranges on my tree, and one of these fell off. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll bring this in for the podcast. But I was working on my lawn and whatnot because I got a new weed whacker for Christmas, and I just want to mention I have an orange tree. I have a citrus tree right behind my house. I mean, it's on my property, and I don't eat the oranges, and I definitely will not eat that. But it's just kind of cool to kind of go, oh yeah, Florida orange tree, yay. Also, my neighbor caught me outside recently when I was doing lawn work, and we kind of caught up and whatnot. But the next thing on there, of course, number 6 is don't touch the savings account, in which case I did not do that. I did have to touch the savings account because at that point I was 3 months into unemployment and still had 5 more months to work on it. Start working out. That's another one I did not do and probably will not even bother attempting to do. Work on my writing skill, which is kind of funny because when you think about it, I gave up on writing my reviews for Low on Health, and now they're all just video form. Don't stop believing, which was kind of just a funny little thing, in which case I did kind of stop believing to a point. I did get kind of depressed and bummed out after the whole, losing the roommate and the house breaking in, and now my escrow shortage, which is going to make 2011 crazy. But I do, 2010 wasn't a great year. It probably was worse than 2009, but hopefully 2011 will probably be as bad, and maybe a little bit better, but who knows. And then game less, which of course I did not do any gaming less. I actually increased my gaming like tenfold to a point in which case I played about 100 games in 2010, and I have my gaming year-end up review on YouTube, so if you want to look for it. But yeah, I played 100 games, more or less. So that's something I definitely did not do. So moving forward, I want to go for 2011 resolutions. Don't foreclose the house, which of course was not on here before, which was number 2 actually. Don't foreclose the house. That is one of my big ones that I am going to do, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it was up on my New Year's resolutions. It was number 2. I got left out. My bad. 2, don't don't touch the savings account. Go try for that one again, and who knows? There's not that much left in it, so that's not that big of a deal. Game less, in which case I am going to do game less this year because I'm cutting back on financials. I will just be doing a lot of PC gaming. Read more. I'm going to try to get back into reading some more L&D and Foster books and whatnot, and just other sci-fi books, and just enjoy those on the PSP. That's game less and read more. And then finish landscaping the house. Most of this stuff, once I got the chainsaw last year, that helped me really kind of make a big dent on getting stuff done for the house. And most of the stuff now just requires money or little nuance and landscaping techniques, in which case I'll probably work on that. But that's kind of my New Year's resolutions there. Just, 5 basic ones. I'm not going to shoot for them. I think I'll be able to do most of them. So hoping 2011 is going to be good. Moving on here, what else we got? I do want to mention I watched my first movie of the year, in which case I should have put on there too on the New Year's resolutions. Watch less bad movies. I'm gonna try to watch a less amount of movies. Watched over 80 movies last year, so this time I'm gonna try to watch a little less and try to watch better movies. But the first movie I watched this year is gonna be the Trigun Badland Rumble movie, in which case I am a huge Trigun fan. I will go on record and saying it is my favorite anime. In which case it's a little bit of nostalgia factor, and I just still really enjoy the anime. Of course, I read the manga last year in 2010, and I just love the series. I love the characters. I love the design. I love just the premise of the world. It's just great. I love Trigun. I love the music. It's just a great series. In which case, this is kind of a standalone movie to it. In which case, it does kind of follow. After I finished watching it, I realized it follows a lot of the same staples that the pacing and everything that the Cowboy Bebop movie did, where it takes place right before kind of the end of the series. All the characters do know each other, and it's kind of just in one of the transitional times when they're all traveling around and whatnot. But it's just a really good, solid movie, and I'm happy to watch it. I definitely recommend it to any anime fan, and it's kind of just, for me, a really good way to kick off 2011 and watching this movie, and it was just really, really great. I can't wait for it to come out. I will probably watch it dubbed. But really, that's kind of about it. I'm just really happy to kind of start the new year and see what's going to go on and whatnot. Work on some low on health things. I'll probably end up doing a lot of old PlayStation gaming. Try to get back to some of the Shrine and some of the classics, some of the staples of the gaming. In which case, we got some good news earlier this week with apparently Xenogears and Vagrant Story are coming to the PSN network, and they're releasing a new Xenogears compilation music album, which is going to be awesome. So it's looking to be like I'm going to be doing less gaming, but I'll probably be doing more quality gaming this year, with going back and hitting the back catalog of Shrine games and the old PS1 Square Soft, not Enix games. But As always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a good year.